For today's speed build, we are going to build a Chicago inspired townhouse, and I'm super excited for that because for me, it's a little bit close to home because I used to only live in about an hour away from Chicago, so I'd be there all the time. I'm a big fan of the architecture there, even whether it's more like on the historic side or whether it's more modern, which is what we're doing today. This is going to be more of a based off of a modern new construction build that I actually saw on a real estate website. And I was looking around, and I've trust me, this will not be the last of these Chicago house series because there's just so many of them that I saved, and I love all of them. They're all unique in their own ways, but this one I like because, of course, it's very modern, very new, and I saw like on the actual website there's only like renderings of this house. It wasn't actually built yet, so there wasn't a real photo, it was just renderings that just had like a rendering of the outside. I'm going to see if I can throw a picture up there. But they had a rendering of the outside, and they also had floor plans. So that was cool that I could just look at the floor plans, but I could actually be creative and play around with it. So they had I don't know, I could just differently lay out the rooms the way I wanted to. They had bedrooms on the bottom floor and bedrooms on the third floor, and then on the top floor too. But what I did, so this, by the way, is going to be a 5-story house, so get comfortable because we got a lot of floors to unpack. But this is a 5-story house, so how I decided to lay this out was the bottom floor will have an office, a guest bedroom, and just a game room area. Second floor is going to be your kitchen and living area, like your common space. Third floor is going to be 3 bedrooms. And then the fourth floor, as you see here, is going to actually be a dedicated workout space. I don't know why. Gyms are fun. I love decorating them. They're just fun for me. I don't know why, but something about it. So there's going to be a full-fledged gym up there. I'm talking like there's going to be a gym area, then there's going to be a dance slash yoga studio section, and then inside of that there's going to be a freaking sauna room in there. So I just threw as much in there as I could. So, but now as I've yacked on, we've got the details out of the outside ready. So it's just coming along pretty nicely. And what I'm doing here is I'm kind of making the house more blend into the neighborhood settings of this. Like, it's a city, so you shouldn't see much grass. So we're going to cover all that up and just slap some concrete on there and throw some trees around just to really make it blend in with its surroundings so it doesn't seem like it's just what's this random house doing here. And then I pulled one of those other houses from the debug menu to also help match it so that it just wouldn't be this lot there with like a whole extra empty space next to it. If you decide to download it in your game, you can play around with that too, do whatever you want with it. But now we're working on the fun part, which is going to be the interior, and I'm really excited with how it turned out. It just looks very just clean and modern, which is my style 24/7. So this will be the entryway. I use this cool shelf, and you could just place a bunch of little things on it. It really makes it feel welcoming. It really makes it feel like something straight out of Pinterest or something when you walk into it. And it has the ambience and it has the vibe of just something really homey, in my opinion. And I kind of added this little floor shelf there to add to it too. It complements the shelf on the wall very well. You know, you always got to have that space when you walk in that you can just put your mail on or your bills that you dread to pay and all that fun stuff. And now this is the dining room. I went for a square table. I felt like it fit the shape of this space better. And you gotta have a wine cellar if you have a nice house like this, I feel like. So it fit perfectly because this wall is behind the kitchen. So I had an extra little space that I could just throw in a built-in wine cellar. So I thought, you know what, why not? It would fit perfectly. And so once we get to the other side, I was actually really proud of how the kitchen turned out. Side note, you gotta have a cool cat picture in your house because why not? But anyway, the kitchen, I really love how it turned out. They had a rendering too of a kitchen. It had like blue counters and cabinets. And so I thought I gotta incorporate that. And they also showed a marble backsplash with uh, just like to go behind the stove. So I thought I definitely got to incorporate that somehow. So the refrigerator blends in on the left side to the other cabinets. It just matches that well. And then just for the rest of it, it has extra counter space. Usually I would put shelves on the backsplash, but, or I mean where the stove is, but I just thought the backsplash was like art itself. So I just went ahead and kind of kept it plain because it just looks like a display. It just looks really nice and just, yeah, like I didn't want to obstruct it with anything. But I finished the island with a waterfall type of edge, and then we put some bar stools there and a sink, and then your basic appliances there. But I kept it really minimal. I just really felt like it didn't need a lot of clutter. Just a nice little plant and whatever you call that, cutting board would look nice. And so on the other side of the kitchen, there's a nice little built-in spot that I think would be perfect for as a coffee bar. Hang all your mugs up there, hang all the things you want. And so for this living room, I saw those windows there, and I was like, I should put some windows here. But as you can see, I quickly changed my mind. I just wasn't feeling it. I thought the wall should just be windowless, so that way I could display all this stuff on it a lot better. It just looked better in my opinion. You can really show all the things that you have here a lot better. So I think these were the same ones I used in the foyer, but these little shelves that go on the floor. So, of course you can just decorate the shelves however you want. And you gotta have a nice little sectional in here, I feel like. So this sectional fit perfectly. I love the color of it, just, beige natural colors. And then what I think is a marble coffee table that went well with it. And so I also figured out a way to do this fireplace hack, which when it shows, I'll show a tour of it later. You'll see it in action. So it looks really nice and just looks really ambient. So that fit that space better. Now we're on the bottom floor, which is the office. And I had a lot of fun with this room because there's just this huge bookshelf behind it where I could just put all kinds of so much crap on it, but it looks nice in my opinion. And then I put the same brick I was using outside on the inside to just kind of use as an accent wall. And so then with that, you just have a nice wide desk. You got to fit two screens. Definitely gives me work from home kind of vibe. Probably one of the parents or owners of the house work out of this office. And so then because this office is pretty big, it can also double as a art room. So if they're creative, they can paint and do all that fun stuff. And I just kind of use these two random shelves to put underneath the TV. It fits perfectly. And then that plant matched the other plant, which was not even something I was trying to do on purpose. But when I realized that, I was like, okay, I got to do this. Because the way my OCD is set up, it can match perfectly, and I'm a happy camper. So I was working on the game room of the bottom floor. This house really doesn't have much of a yard, so it just has doors that go out to the back. This setting kind of has a nice lake and a lake and a walkway behind it. So I know this family that I'm staging for apparently loves to drink. There's just bottles everywhere. They have a whole wine cellar upstairs, and then they have a whole counter full of drinks downstairs. So you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. But yeah, this house backs up to a lake and a walk, kind of like a boardwalk kind of thing. So I put a door that goes out to that. And when you don't have much of a yard, there's only one solution. It's to put it on the roof, which you'll see how that turns out later. We're just putting finishing touches on the game room level. And of course you gotta have a nice big screen there. So now we're on the third floor where the bedrooms are gonna be at. This is one of the bedrooms. I staged it as if it was, maybe a teen girl's room. Very free spirited kind of personality. And then you gotta have just those teal aqua colors with the white. I thought that looked really well, and I kind of put this custom shelving system that attaches to the desk. You can just put all kinds of books and display things, a little Hello Kitty on the top of the shelf there. Ambient lighting with candles, plants, you gotta have all that. It just looks, just what's, uh, goes together very well, and a little bit of inspiration. And then I put a little vanity section here because it just adds to the ambiance of the room. I thought it looked really nice. And then, of course, the wall on the bed just has really nice kind of starlight types of patterns to it. I thought that was a good touch. And then also what I did for all of the bedrooms, I used this like glass sliding closet door. Now I wonder if you have like a family, or if this was real life and you had a closet that was see-through, would it make you keep it clean, or would you just not have any shame and just, even if it was messy, you wouldn't care? Because for me, I feel like I would be an anxious mess. I would have to make sure it's clean at all times because my closet right now is not looking that clean. But if I had glass doors and people could judge it from the outside, I'd probably be a little nervous and think that I should probably keep it straight. As much as a challenge as that would definitely be. But, you know, it just looks nice, so I mean, why not? And pretty soon you'll see the doors go on there. So this is another room. I could just see it being staged just like a kid boy's room that just plays video games. Simple as that. And then the third room on the level is the main bedroom. I use these ceiling lights that hang down for the bed instead of putting a lamp. I thought that looked so much better and just fits the modern part of it. But this bedroom too also has separate closets, and once again they have the glass doors. So I tried to stage it in a way that's very neat and organized. I think I succeeded in that, hopefully. But I also kind of made it. I wanted to make it look somewhat lived in, but clean at the same time. Just like a ratio of both. And you gotta have your shoebox collection. And so this will be what the main bathroom will look like. I was doing a lot of playing around with it, trying to see what kind of fixtures I wanted to use and what kind of color scheme. And I kind of ended up doing this wood and gray color scheme with subway tile as a backsplash. I wanted to use these backlit mirrors, but I ended up changing that to these mirrors. It's kind of, is that a hexagon, I believe? And so it just kind of, it made it look more creative in my opinion. It just kind of added that, gave it a little more like oomph to the bathroom by going with these mirrors instead. And I just put a light above it so that way I could keep it bright. And, you know, just throwing all kinds of clutter in the bathroom. You know, you just, the bathroom is where you have all your crap. And I like this kind of open shelf thing that I put above the sinks and the counters. Perfect for extra storage. You can fit so much more on there. Probably more than you could fit in a regular cabinet. But yeah, I just cluttered this whole thing up. I was like, I'm gonna go crazy. And then the cool thing about it is under the sinks, I put an extra shelf so you can just throw towels on there. And I thought that was a good touch because you can never have enough towels. You know, it's good to have them in an easy space to get to them. And it just adds more to it. It makes the space look more full. And then this is your bathtub with a little window view outside to the sea. I tried to put more plants on it and just shelving, and I actually put rocks on the bottom. I feel like I could do more with that, but rocks are kind of cool because if you step out, it just seems like instead of having puddles on your floor, it just absorbs all that if you get out of a tub. So I feel like that was pretty genius to have. I've seen this in real houses a lot, and I was like, I'm gonna start using that more in my Sims houses. And I'm just kind of used some wall towels there. It's probably kind of excessive, but I kind of thought it was cool. Okay, so, and that's just the toilet room that attaches to the bathroom. So now we're gonna go up to the fourth floor, which is the gym space I was talking about earlier. This is the main area where you'll have all your gym equipment, and your weights and all that stuff. And the doors is what leads out to your rooftop terrace, which is a 2-story rooftop terrace, by the way. So you got a mini fridge there. You gotta, keep water, stay hydrated, don't pass out in your own house during your workouts. And just, yeah, this room just has all the space for anything you need. I went for shelves in the middle, but then I took it out because I thought it wasn't as practical. I felt like if you put weights on a wash shelf, it would just fall over. It wouldn't happen, obviously, in the Sims, but I'm very realistic. So now this section is what is going to be the yoga and dance studio room. As you can see, I put some bamboo plants like outside. It kind of just adds to that calming vibe that you would need for a room like this. You just want everything, just throw plants everywhere is my philosophy to make a room nice and homey and calm and fitting for yoga and stuff like that. So, and then those are just the dance bars to add on to it. And then you have the sauna, which I went with kind of a darker black theme to it, but then just to make it more natural, I did go ahead and change the bench to a wood, your typical like sauna wood there. So now we're outside for the fun part, the 2-story rooftop terrace. I just kind of line more bamboo plants on there. So over here you'll have a grill, outdoor television, a place to just chill, and you also have outdoor dining and just all that fun stuff. But like I said earlier, this house doesn't really have much of a yard, so you got to throw all the space up top to have the outdoor space, and it's perfect because you have a nice view and you have a decent amount of space just because of the size of the house. And to be able to have a second story on your terrace is that deserves bragging rights, I think. So I really liked how this turned out. I really felt like it's a cute space to just really hang out. If I lived here, I'd be up there all day, just looking at the water. And then on the second floor, you will have basically just the area for a hot tub and just sunbathing. I tried to do something with like a sunken pool. I'll throw a picture there, but it wouldn't let me be great because it would leave a hole in the roof, which you really don't notice unless you're actually in there looking, but it kind of bugged me. So I'm just like, I'll stick with an above ground. I thought it looked better anyway. There's more space, but we're just finishing up the outdoor area. There's going to be a porch here, just simple stuff there, but that's it for the speed build. There'll be a tour coming up, so I will see you for the next design.